Okay, I've already done my other ear flap. And so now we're going to do the borders. The border is two colors. We're going to start with one color and then do the other color. So you want to start with the pink. Make a slip knot. Put your hook through. Put it on your hook. And then take it off your hook. Just like so. Now, when I'm starting the beanies, I always like to go in the corner of the beanie. So start with the corner, and this is like where the ear flap's at, and this is like the end of the beanie where the front of the forehead or the back of the neck, pretty much depends on how you want your beanie. So you're gonna put the pink yarn on the hook, pull it through the stitch, wrap the yarn around over the hook, and pull it through. You just added your pink yarn. Now what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet all the way across till we get to the other side of the other flap. So let's single crochet all the way across, going to the next stitch and just single crochet until we get to the ear flap. Lay down your loose straggler so you can crochet it in there, so you don't have to sew it in unless you prefer to. Okay, and there's my other loose straggler. I'm just going to lay that right on top and crochet it right over too. Okay, here we are at the other ear flap. I want you to get a good look at this. Okay, where we started the ear flap and where the beanie ends, you want to, right in that corner, you want to single crochet right into that corner. And then if you can see, you're going in every row, pretty much. So all these little holes are rows. See those little holes in there? If you don't have the holes, your stitches are pretty much tight. So just look for the ridges. And you'll see it looks like 2 and 1. It looks like 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, but actually those are 2 rows in 1. So you want to go right in between those rows. And to do that, we're going to pretty much just go in each row and single crochet all the way up to the end of this ear flap. So we already did that row. We're going to move along to the other row, which is right here. It's kind of hard to see it. And we're just going to go right at the end of the corner and go in each row. At the very end of the corner, you want to get that end of the corner. That's my loose straggler. It's pretty long, so I'm still sewing it in. We're crocheting it in. And we're just going in each row. Okay, the last row. We have the 4 stitches on top. One, see them on the top? We're going to go in each one of those stitches. Single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and last one, 4. And we have another loose straggler, so we're going to still crochet that in as well. And now we're going to come along to the other side, and we're going to single crochet in every row. Lay down that straggler. It's kind of hard to get into it, but do your best and go into each row. On the opposite side of the ear flap. Okay, now we're at the very corner, just like we did on the other side. You want to get that very corner where it's attached to the beanie and the ear flap. Get in that very, very corner. Single crochet. Now we're going to crochet all the way across the beanie. All the way in every stitch across to the other side of the ear flap. Okay, now we're at the very end. This is where the ear flap is at and the beanie ends. So it's at the very, very corner. You want to get that very, very corner. And you want to crochet all the way across in every row. So single crochet in every row. I'm going to start on mine, starting with the end, working my way all the way to the other end on the ear flap. Going in each row on the very end of the row. Okay, now we're back on the very, very top again. And what you're going to do is single crochet in those 4 stitches on the very top. So go in the first stitch, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to work on the opposite side of the bean and the ear flap. Lay down your loose straggler and go into each row on the very end of each row. Sometimes your stitches might be a little bit too tight. Get in there and still try to make that stitch in there. Going in each row. Okay, we're at the very end now. You want to get that corner, like I told you, the very corner where the beanie and the ear flap is attached. Get that very corner, and then you want to slip stitch in the other pink part of the stitches. Okay, and then you're going to fasten off. Wrap the yarn around your hook, pull it through the loop, and then pull nice and snug. So the pink part is on. Now the white part. Make a slip knot. And because we ended up over here with our fasten off, flip the beanie around and go on the opposite side so you don't get a big old clump on this side. You're going to be having it over here. And just attach it to the very end or somewhat at the end. Make a slip knot, attach it to your hook, wrap the yarn around, pull it through the loop. And then what you're going to do is just single crochet all the way across in every stitch, even the ear flaps. You don't need to go anywhere else, just go in every stitch doing a single crochet all the way across. Now I'm coming up on the ear flap, just going in each stitch now. Coming up to the end of the ear flap. And back on the other side of the ear flap. Coming down the ear flap and onto the beanie part. Now we're going to crochet all the way across, get that loose straggler in there, lay it down right on top and crochet right over it so it can be right inside there so you don't have to sew it in. It's all in there now. Coming on the corner of the beanie and the ear flap. Now we're going to work all the way up the ear flap. Now working on the very end of the ear flap and on the other side of the ear flap. Okay, slip stitch at the beginning, fasten off, wrap the yarn around over the hook, pull it through the loop, and pull tight. Take your needle, thread it, and sew it in. Now at this point, if you see any loose stragglers that are popping out like this, see this one, just a little bit, just cut it off. Sew in the top of the loose straggler. And there's the beanie with the rim. Very beautiful. Now what we're going to do is put the tassels at the very end. You want to have, let me count here, 1, 2, 3. So you're going to have 2, 4, 6 whites, 6 pink, and 6 black yarn of 24 inches long. So cut them out. Doesn't have to be exact on 24 inches, just try to make it look like exact of 24 inches. And you want to cut 6 colors of white, which that's what I'm doing right now. I like to take my yarn and just go back and forth. There's 3 of them I have now. Four. And actually you're going to need 12, because you're going to need 6 on this side and 6 on that side. It's 5, 6. So here's my 6 white ones. I fold it in half. And that's pretty much how long it is. Fold it in half. And do the same thing with the pink. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to need 12 pink as well. 6 on this side, 6 on that side. And then the black. 6 black on one side, 6 black on the other side. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last one, 6. Okay. Separate them, 2 blacks, 2 whites, and 2 pinks. Line them up together. Make sure they're all even together, just like so. Then pull them nice and snug and fold it in half and line up the other ones. Some of the strings might be shorter or longer than the other. Just do your very best and make sure they're halfway. So this loop right here that we have at the end here, at the other half of this, we're going to put it in our end here. You're going to look for the very, very end. See how we did 1, 2, 3, 4? We're going to go right into those spaces, and it's going to be 3. So here's our 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. We're going right into the space in between those 4 single crochets that we did. So you want to go right into that pink part, not the white. Go right into the pink. Put all the yarn of the loop onto your hook. Pull it right through that space and just open up that loop. And what you're going to do is the loose ends, you're going to just feed it right through that loop and pull snug. Just like if you're going to do a slip stitch in a way, that's what it is. And pull snug. I'm going to do that 3 times. So that's our first one. Going into the next one over and the next one over. So grab 2 pinks, 2 blacks, and 2 whites. There's 1 white, and there's the other white. Make sure they're halfway. Get the very end of the other half. Fold it in half. Get that little loop at the very end. Go into your next space over, which is right here. This is the first one. This is the second one. And there's 3 spaces in between those 4 single crochets that we did. Put it through. Open it up. And feed the yarn right through and pull. So that's 2. Now we're going to do the last one. 2 whites, 2 blacks, 2 pinks. Fold it in half. Get your other space right in between here. Put your hook through. Put the yarn over your hook. Pull it through that space. Open up that loop. And feed the yarn right through it. Now we got all 3 on there. Grab all 3 of them. And what we're going to do is a braid. Braids are very easy to do. You're taking the outer part, bringing it to the center. The one that was in the center, pull on that same side that you brought that yarn from. Now you're going on the opposite side, pull this one into the center, and pull the one that was into the center on that side. And you're just continuing that all the way down. So let's braid this. I'm going to do a little bit faster now. And I'm just braiding it down. braid it to the end, leave a little bit of space because you want those little tassels to show. So I'll show you how I'm going to leave it. And I'm going to stop here, right here. And I have a lot left over, but my ends are kind of shorter here, and some are long, because I did not measure it, I just cut it as I gone. Now you're going to cut a piece of the black one. Cut that string off. This is about 12 inches almost. You're going to hold one end, leaving a loose end on this side, and you're just going to keep on wrapping it around nice and tight over that braid, at the very end of that braid. Just wrap it around nice and tight over and over again till you get to like the same length as the loose end. You're going to tie those two ends into a knot. One and another knot, two. Put it on your needle, each end, and from the top here you're going to feed it right through the loose ends. Just like so. Grab the other loose end, feed it over the one that you went around to, bring it through, and pull snug. Now if you got loose ends like me that are uneven, all you have to do is you're doing it about, say, an inch, 2 inches. I'm going about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and you're just going to cut that off. Nice and even. Save those loose ends. Those are great for stuffing the inside of the ear. And there's the tassel. Do the same thing to the other side, and I'll meet you back where we can do our ears.